We are so privileged and honoured. Please give a really, really warm BIMM Brighton welcome to Laura Mvula. You've been in a really similar position to these guys. Just give us a bit of brief history about how you got into, how are you here and why is this familiar?
Why are you here?
What happened before you were signed? You know, you did a really similar thing to these guys in Birmingham, yeah?
It was my teachers at school that were like, oh, you should consider going to music school. Well, my whole musical education before deciding to write songs was kind of a bit of a cappella music, playing in string orchestras, playing violin badly, but nonetheless, you know, committing to it, playing piano, and playing in church. So I would go between, you know, it would take up a full week, all this stuff. So then by the time I finished my A-levels, I knew that I wanted to keep going. And it made sense to go to music school.
How much do you think that studying music has shaped you as a musician and as a writer now? I mean, do you think your music would be incredibly different if you hadn't gone and studied this as a degree?
Yeah, studying was everything to me. But I tell you, I knew that I did want to be around musicians 24/7. So that was my main, the purpose of going there. When I arrived at the conservatoire, because it's a classical institution, for the first 2 years I felt like I was in the wrong place. And I used to say it a lot. I don't think I should do this course. Like, I felt so intimidated by other people that were writing music on the course. Their music was so polished already, complex music, stuff that I'd never heard before. And at the time, initially, that just scared me. I would say my third and fourth year, those were the things that enriched my whole journey. When I think about how I write now, believing in the smallest seed, like having faith in the tiniest bits of inspiration and sticking with those ideas can lead to incredible things.
So you've had the opportunity to collaborate with some amazing people. I know you want to talk about one person in particular. Go for it.
Okay. I wanted to talk about Prince. He did very openly champion my music quite early on. And he's so mysterious as well. I feel like he's taught me to really treasure that. Not everybody doesn't have to know and understand everything about who you are, like musically, creatively. I remember reading a Prince article, it must have been an interview recently I read somewhere, and someone asked him, well, how is it that you make your incredible music? What's the motivation? What's the inspiration? And he said, I just make music that I want to hear, that I want to listen to. And I think slowly, really gradually, that became really important to me. That place inside that nobody has access to but yourself. You just can't help but do it. That's where I had to get to with She. There is something in just creating a mystique. I think he was the genius of that.
And I wondered if, from going through anxiety and stuff like that, if you have any tips on how you've maybe overcome that, or you haven't let that get to you.
You can actually embrace those moments, and I have found that they become less the more practiced I am. I think where I get better is when I don't try so hard to be this amazing singer. When I stop trying, it feels very natural. I think that's because it's truthful. And with the anxiety thing, I think is what you just did there, speaking it out, I think is the most important thing, because I find that that's when it loses its power.
Can we get a really big round of applause one more time for Laura and Mvula?
Thanks, everybody.